Ever since I was a kid, I always thought that Android 17 was the Dragon Ball version of Darth Maul. Both characters didn't have much to say and neither contributed a lot when they were first introduced, but they mixed well with other characters and had legendary fights. Now, after all these years, I think that comparison still works. These two characters were brought back from obscurity, and they immediately became fan favorites. It wasn't because they did the same old things again, no, this time was different. They changed, they evolved. And both of their stories winded up being completed in not the most expected way. And even though it wasn't entirely expected, it felt right. But what got 17 this much love? How did a character that was lost in time come back in one of the best uses of fan service? How did this character, who had no right to be, well, this memorable, wind up being a trending topic for over 12 hours, outlasting even Jiren? Let's take a look. So when 17 was brought back in the story, fans were a little skeptical. I'm not gonna ride the high horse, I was worried too. I mean, looking back at DBZ, what did 17 even do? He woke up, knocked the Z Fighters out, did a whole lot of nothing, fought Piccolo, and then get absorbed. And unlike 18, he didn't stick around after the Cell Saga. He didn't even go out with honor like 16. He showed up during the Kid Buu fight, but that was just fan service. And yes, I am going to ignore what 17 did in the Future Trunks timeline and in GT, since A, Future 17 was, well, as interesting as a moldy Hot Pocket, and B, GT, if it does happen, takes place far into the future, so it's not worth talking about. Though actually, now that I think about it, after watching this show, Super Android 17's power seems a lot more logical now, doesn't it? My point is that if Android 17 was going to have this big comeback, he had some expectations to meet, and boy did he meet them? His comeback was pretty cool, a basic action scene with Goku, a quick little escapade to immerse the audience in 17's new life, it's all good stuff. And then the sparring match happens. Okay, I have no problem with 17 fighting Goku, I mean 17 was made to literally do that, so I thought the fight was freaking awesome. But then Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue and I can't really defend that action. When I saw it happen at first, I thought, oh, that's right, Blue is all about power control, so he's just using this form to accurately gauge 17's power. That being said, couldn't he have gone Super Saiyan 2 or 3 at the most? God status is kind of pushing it for a character we haven't seen for years. This wasn't just jumping the shark. This was jumping the shark, buying a motorcycle, doing the jump again, buying a Gatling gun, shooting the shark, and repeating the process with 12 more frickin' sharks just to be sane. Man, did the internet have a field day with this fight, and I can't blame the people who are understandably baffled. Unless the poachers were, I don't know, Bojack's crew or friggin' Janemba, I can't imagine how 17 got this strong over just fighting human poachers on an isolated island. However, what sold me on 17 was how much he's changed as a person. He still remained a stone cold fighter, but it turns out like 18, he has a family and he really cares for them. Hell, he cares for all life in general thanks to his job, moving past his purpose as a mindless killing machine. There's a really touching scene during the Tournament of Power where 17 and 18 remember a time before this and they realize how far they've come. Seeing a character in Dragon Ball show such maturity is astonishing. Vegeta did it, Piccolo did it, Gohan did it, and wouldn't you know it, another fan favorite character just happens to have shown maturity as well. 17 grew into a very humble person. He wanted to use the Super Dragon Balls to wish for a cruiser and take his family around the world. He could have had phenomenal cosmic powers at his fingertips, but he wanted a family cruise. Just make sure no cat gods show up on your ship, you know what I'm saying? But again, 17's maturity and evolution as a character is what gave him another chance for me. The interactions he's had with the cast have been great, and from there, he only got better. When the tournament arrived, everyone thought that 17 was going to be a nice little support character. Someone that could help take care of the fodder and leave the fighting to the big boys. But thankfully, that wasn't the case at all. Long story short, 17 was the MVP for the entire tournament. He always helped his teammates, he had some awesome fights, and he actually interrupted a power-up. A Dragon Ball character wanted to stop someone from transforming. 17, thou art my new god. I think what made me love 17 so much during this arc was his consistency. There was never a dull moment with him. Even though his moveset relied on unlimited energy and barriers, he used those techniques creatively to keep his opponents off guard. And since he was an android, he couldn't be sensed by others, so he was able to jump in fights undetected a lot. Where some characters got awesome moments and others got the complete shaft, Android 17 constantly delivered. He wasn't the strongest fighter, but he was certainly the most reliable. His most important battles were against Anilaza, Toppo, and Jiren. He found Anilaza's weakness, he was able to maneuver against a god of destruction, and he was the first fighter to wound Jiren. Not hit, or knock back, or freeze, but actually wound. On top of that, he got under Jiren's skin, exposing him for the flawed warrior he truly was. Even though he was severely outmatched, he never stopped fighting or calling Jiren out for his faults. This led to 17's final moments in life. As Jiren moves in for the finishing blow, 17 self-destructs in order to save Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza. As he does this, he remarks how human this sacrifice is, and says he has no problem with that. What followed was a silent explosion. And even though 17 was no longer there, the impact he left with everyone on screen and off was clear. Maybe that's what made 17 such a remarkable character. All this time, he was more machine than man. He had a personality and free will, but it wasn't until Dragon Ball Super did the character actually grow as a human. He truly made that evolutionary jump and went out as a hero. His sacrifice gave Goku, the one person he was designed to kill, enough time to prepare to save everyone, including 17's family. 17 was a great fighter, but his simple moments of acting like a human had an equal amount of importance. It is hard to say how 17 became such a lovable character in one arc, but it looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the redemption of a true Dragon Ball character. Android 17, a modified human that went out a hero. Zamasu be damned. What did you all think of Android 17? Did you like him, hate him, wish you saw more of him, wish you saw less? Leave your thoughts down below, and thank you all so much for watching. I will see all of you legends next time. Take care.